Hi, I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories coming up on today's show. A new rural physician incentive program has been announced by the province in an effort to attract more physicians to rural Saskatchewan. Criminal minds are busy working behind the scenes to steal your hard-earned money and even your identity. This can happen through telephone marketing, phony emails from banks, credit cards, and even jackpot wins for lotteries you never even entered. Back in January, the Saskatchewan Ministry of Education announced that school divisions across the province are required to extend the number of classroom instruction hours to 950 for students in K through 12. Thanks for joining us here today. A new incentive program to attract doctors to rural Saskatchewan is being applauded by the Cypress Health Region. We have more in today's top story. A new rural physician incentive program has been announced by the province in an effort to attract more physicians to rural Saskatchewan. The new program will include $120,000 in funding over 5 years to recent medical graduates who establish a practice in rural communities of 10,000 or less. A program which is welcome news for the Cypress Health Region, which faces its own challenges in the smaller communities.
I think, in my opinion, it was long overdue because we always felt that we don't have difficulties recruiting to a place like Swift Current, but physicians committing themselves to smaller places, there has to be some incentives for them to make it more enticing for them to live and work in a small place. I think our hotspot right now is Shaunavon. We are down to one physician. There's one who is finishing the CIPA program. The CIPA program is the provincial program for international medical graduates. So that physician is, I'm hoping, he was successful through the first part of the program, and I'm hoping that will be successful through the second part, which ends at the end of May, and we're hoping that that physician will start working in June. There's another physician with license in the province already who expressed interest in Shaunavon as well, and that physician's spouse is also a physician and expected to get enrolled into the CIPA program in September. So medium to long term it looks good, but short term, we're struggling.
Dr. Radevsky goes on to add that the new program will ease the financial burden of new medical grads. However, they'll still have to assimilate to the new rural lifestyle, which can often feel isolated when moving from a larger center. Topped off with on-call duties when there's a physician shortage in the community. A revolving scenario which he hopes will be solved by bringing in multiple physicians at a time to smaller centers.
When there's 2 or 3 physicians, obviously you have to be able to cover the hospital, so that puts you on call, almost every second or third night. So in the long term, that becomes a little bit hard. And I think that is probably the biggest issue that most rural family physicians face. It's not the clinic work, it's not the during the office hours work, it's the after hours work. And we're trying to find, we're through innovative strategies such as collaborative emergency centers, we're trying to see how we can help those physicians, have quality of life, as well as provide sustainable, stable after-hours emergency care to our residents.
The new Rural Physician Incentive Program will be retroactive to April 1st of 2012 and applied to Canadian and international medical graduates.
Trust the team at Pinnacle Financial to help you reach your financial goals. Whether you require personal or corporate income tax planning, bookkeeping, management consulting, or full-service mortgage brokering, our expert team has you covered. Contact us today to begin your climb to the top.
Hello?
Hey, Mom. Chris has a fever, but I can't remember the number for Healthline.
They just changed it. The Healthline number is now 811.
That's easy. Thanks, Mom.
Healthline 811. Professional health advice 24/7.
March is Fraud Prevention Month in Saskatchewan, and in this report we take a closer look at some of the circulating scams. Criminal minds are busy working behind the scenes to steal your hard-earned money and even your identity. This can happen through telephone marketing, phony emails from banks, credit cards, and even jackpot wins for lotteries you never even entered. The more prepared you are for these types of schemes, the better off you'll be in the long run.
People shouldn't be afraid to hang up the phone. It's always a good idea to be suspicious of unsolicited phone calls such as that. A good policy is if it's too good to be true, there's a good chance that it probably is.
Corporal Smith goes on to add that many residents have alerted the police of detailed messaging popping up on their computer screens, all followed by a demand for cash. This is known as ransomware.
People will get a pop-up on their computer saying that they've been identified as viewing inappropriate material such as child pornography, something like that, and that they are to pay a fee to the company, or else there's a threat that it will be reported to the RCMP.
You're advised to never respond to any of these pop-up messages, emails, or other correspondence that makes an offer, alerts you of a problem with your bank account, or any other scenario that may be of an urgency. Always contact your local police, your financial institution, and the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre.
Our company helps tell your story and provides you with a solution on how to market your business. Because making a great video is only half the equation. You have to know how to use it.
We have done a major.
The Chinook School Division has gone back to the drawing board once again as it readjusts its 2013-14 school calendar. Back in January, the Saskatchewan Ministry of Education announced that school divisions across the province are required to extend the number of classroom instruction hours to 950 for students in K-12. The new guidelines will take effect in September, and divisions have been busy readjusting their school calendars. The Chinook School Division released its 2013-14 calendar last month, however, has since fine-tuned it once again after receiving public input.
And I think upon further reflection, not just on that feedback, but with all the change that's being undertaken at this point in time for next year, the board chose to move back to a more traditional calendar, while not exactly the same due to some of the constraints around the timing and the balancing of semesters. They've passed a new version that is more traditional in nature, that has the full February break within it.
And with this latest revision, Chufu feels confident they will be able to meet the standards set out by the province.
We had about 920 going, so we need to find about 30 hours, and we will find that by adding 10 extra minutes to the day. We're leaving that up to consultation with the SCC and the local school to determine the best way to do that. Some of the feedback seemed to misinterpret some of my comments that we would be removing all breaks throughout the day for children. That is not the intention, and it is not the case. But what I was getting at was that we were getting feedback from schools that all the buses are coming into our school by 8:45 anyway. Instead of starting school at 8:57, maybe we could start school at 8:52 and pick up 5 minutes there, and maybe we could find 5 minutes either at the end of the day or somewhere else.
School divisions are required to submit their 2013-14 calendar year plans to the Ministry of Education by May the 1st. The increase to the new 950 hours of classroom instruction time will coincide with other Western Canadian provinces. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.